My name is Haley. I'm here with Wild Hand, and today I'm going to be showing you how I did this Italian cast on. It's usually used for 1x1 ribbing because it makes this nice neat edge that kind of looks like it's rolling into the other side. It looks continuous and tubular, and it's pretty stretchy. I'm going to be using this Leica straight needle and this Monostil Uruguay Cardo, and let's get started. So to begin our cast on, we are going to pull a long tail of yarn similar to a long tail cast on. We're going to start with a little twist. So when we make this twist, you can see that there's a little crisscross under the needle. Let me get this string out of the way. And the twist is facing us, like the piece of yarn facing us is on top of the twist. And this is important to make note of because we want to start in the opposite direction. If we start with that twist, it'll just untwist, and this is going to make sense right now. So we're going to come under this top piece of yarn, then we're going to wrap around our thumb piece of yarn and come back up all the way on the other side of our finger, and that's our first stitch. You can see this piece of yarn is on top creating like a little bar, so that's going to be a purl stitch, and it's going this way, so we want to come under this side first and then grab the yarn like that. And when you look at it, you can see that the bar is in the back and it has these two sides, so that's going to be a knit stitch. And you're going to keep rotating under, grab the yarn, come out, come under, grab the yarn, come out. And that's all there is to it. You'll just continue to do this over and over again, and as you get used to it, you'll find that it's a relatively fast cast on. There's not a lot of tightening or adjusting that you really have to do, so it makes it go pretty smoothly. Just to slow it down one more time, you're going to come under the yarn that is opposite of the yarn sitting on top. So you're going to come under it, and then you're going to grab the yarn on the other side and just pull it all the way out. So again, this yarn is sitting on top, so we're going to come under this bottom one, grab the top one, and come all the way out. Over and over again. So I will continue to cast on a couple more stitches, and then I'll show you how we knit our first two rows. Okay, so one thing about this Italian cast on is that immediately after you cast on the stitches, it can kind of be hard to tell what's the bottom and what's the top. If you spread the stitches out a little bit, the side with all these knots is the bottom, and the smoother looking side is the top. And those are not technical terms, that's just the best way I can describe it. So we're ready to knit our first row, and because I ended on a purl stitch, I'm going to twist against it so that I kind of get this double twist underneath, because if I go the opposite way, it would untwist. So I'm going to twist this way to turn my work. Then I'm going to grab my working yarn, and I'm going to begin knitting in 1x1 ribs. So we are going to knit one, purl one. So when you cast on, be mindful of the way your stitches are mounted because they will be mounted two different directions. So you can see this knit stitch. In order to knit it, we need to go into the stitch this way. So it kind of looks like we're knitting through the back loop, but we're not. And then we're just going to pull it through to the front as usual. Then we're going to bring our yarn to the front, and we are going to slip this stitch purlwise. This stitch is mounted correctly, so purlwise, you're going to enter the stitch the regular way. So again, knit and then slip one purlwise with yarn in front. And then again, you can see we got to enter the knit stitch this way. So knit one, yarn in front, slip one purlwise, and you'll do this all the way down the row. So very similar to double knitting, you just have to be mindful of the direction your stitches are sitting on the needle. When you're ready to start your second row, you'll go ahead and turn your work. This first one I like to knit in kind of that backwards direction, but it doesn't really matter too much. And at this point, all your stitches should be mounted normally. So slip one purlwise and then knit the regular way. So we're going to knit through the front bar like this and go ahead and knit it. And then slip one purlwise and And again, we will do this all the way to the end of the row, except for this time we are going to purl the last stitch. So I'll show you that. So I'm getting to the end of the row. I have a last knit one, and then this very last stitch, we're going to purl instead of slipping it. And then we will turn our work. You can start to see this little tubular squishy section on the bottom of the needle. That's our cast on. If you're joining in the round, this is the time to do so. Because I'm working flat today, I'm just going to go ahead and turn my work, and I will start knitting in normal 1x1 rib. So I'm going to work every stitch, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and I'll work a few rows so that you can see what the cast on edge looks like. And here's the finished project. It looks super crisp, nice and chunky and tubular, and it even has a decent amount of stretch. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe.